Hello. When I accept myself just as I am, then I can change. And this is a mantra by like Carl Rogers, and I didn't realize how much it was helping me without realizing because I didn't know who this guy was. I wasn't really looking into him, and now recently I have, and it was without me knowing it was helping me through a lot of hard stuff and taking me out of it. Really, I feel a lot better now because of this stuff, which I didn't even realize. And the fact that I don't know you will realize in this video is actually part of what he talks about. Um, but a quick introduction to Carl Rogers. He's a psychologist. He's dead now, but he really changed the way therapy works. Because before it was how it was, you know, you a therapist diagnoses you and gives you a treatment, and that's how things worked. But he changed it. He was like, no, the client knows exactly what's wrong with them. They can diagnose themselves and they can find the treatment for themselves, and it just requires thinking, long and hard thinking, given the correct conditions. They need to be nurtured like a tree to flourish, and that's what he talked about. His whole thing was acceptance of your conditions through self-actualizing, which I guess he thinks of self-actualizing. I mean, everyone talks about self-actualizing, like Carl Jung famously, I think. But probably loads of people do. I'm not too into psychology. I don't know yet, but in his a brief definition of how he thinks of it is just the innate human growth towards self-coherence. It's just becoming better, I guess. And he thinks all humans are innately yearning for that, and that's definitely true. And it happens through flourishing from the actual self, the actual self. Let me ball up a fist. The actual self and the ideal self, and the actual self here is it's everything you think about yourself. It's everything in reality. What are your real desires, your real fears? Also, sorry, I wrote it down here just so I give you guys a good opportunity to learn about this. But what you really feel, who you really are. But the ideal self is it's everything you wish you were. It's everything you want to be. It's the ideal. It's almost what you're thriving for. And self-actualization happens when I guess you try to achieve that. You are trying to achieve that, and maybe you do achieve that in some way. But yeah. And a lot of us put a lot of weight on the ideal self, where it's like becoming this person is now how we will be worthy of respect or love or things like that. And you know, I've written here how like Carl Rogers talks about how psychological distress comes when there's a lot of incongruence between these two aspects, the actual self and the ideal self. When you think the ideal self, when there's a big gap between the two, that's when things like depression happens or other psychological distress. I'm not gonna list every single one, but yeah. So yeah, I mean, he believes that when the ideal self is imposed rather than discovered, people start to disown parts of their actual experience. So I mean, I guess that's like things like when you feel angry, you feel angry and you know you shouldn't be angry, but instead of being honest about yourself about it, you think, no, I should be kind. But like you do feel angry, that's you. You can't just take that away from yourself. That is you. You're ignoring yourself. You're not confronting that part about you. You know the ideal self, you should be kind, but you're not realizing your actual self. And I guess in that sense, you're constantly pushing back against your actual self. Like when the thought of anger comes into you, you're like thinking, no, I need to be kind. And that's what happened to me. I used to think like that. I used to think, no, I shouldn't think like that. I need to stop. I need to stop. I need to stop. Like it was a constant like. If anyone's ever been on a rowing machine, it's like a push, like a push. Uh, you're constantly pushing these thoughts that you had, and really, they're not going anywhere. They're just out of the way for a second, and then the next time you feel angry, it's the same shit. It's just it doesn't help at all. And I'm coming to a point soon. Don't worry. Um, yeah. It's like some people aren't broken. They're just living someone else's life. They're trying to at least, and that's not how things should be. And that's incongruence for Carl Rogers. But congruence in itself is I guess it's not morally perfect. It's what it's it's an acceptance. It's acceptance. It's all about this whole video is about acceptance. It's about acceptance. Uh, and maybe when I watch this in a year, I'll be going through something, and I'll learn to accept it. And for example, it'll be something like I feel like you might feel jealous about something. You'll think instead of thinking no, I shouldn't feel jealous. You think I feel jealous, and I know I shouldn't, but I do. That is me. I do feel jealous, and that's an acceptance. It's not a good thing, I guess, but these aren't things that you can easily take away from yourself. It's part of you, and yeah. I mean, it helped me, and you know how it really helped me. It was these conversations with a person recently. Late at night, it will be go from like 10 or 9 to like 3, and it actually ruined my sleep schedule. And I have exams pretty soon, and I needed to revise, and I kept waking up too late, and I was just being ridiculous. But these conversations with this person were completely worth it because we had to talk. Because recently, I don't know why, but we just started talking about what like how how big of a dick we are to everyone. Um, like recently, it's very recent. We just kept talking about how we were just being really honest. We were just thinking how narcissistic, how arrogant, how delusional we were being, and it's like we were being really we're not. We're just talking about how we are really bad people in a way, and it's not in the way we were saying it to each other to garner sympathy. It wasn't like that. It was just to let it out. It's because it's not a common thing. You never talk to another person about how big of a piece of shit you are. I guess now I don't know why, but me and her just started doing this, and I felt really good after. I didn't ask her how she felt, but and it's unspoken, I felt really good. Um, and it's after those conversations, I didn't feel like shit anymore. I didn't feel like shit for being a piece of shit. I mean, obviously it's a constant battle, but I it, I feel a lot better because you just because you realize everyone else is a piece of shit. So what does that make you? It's comfortable knowing that. Really comfortable knowing that however badly you think of yourself, everyone else thinks of themselves just as badly. And when you're the same as everyone else, it's nice. I can't explain why it's nice. I don't know. I don't understand exactly, but it is. It's a good feeling. Um, yeah. I mean, I was watching this video by James Baldwin. He's dead now, I'm pretty sure. I've read one of his books. Another Country. He's a brilliant author. He's probably my favorite one if it wasn't for the fact I haven't read any other books by him. Um, but he really suffered through life. He talked about the Black American experience during like the 50s, 60s. He really suffered through life, and he talked about how you could go through life thinking, priding yourself around saying no one's ever suffered how I've suffered in life, or how I suffer now. No one's ever suffered like that, and you know you, you tend to isolate yourself through suffering. But it really clicked in my head. He talked about how it's a bridge, and I really felt that because I really experienced that. He said it was a bridge to other people because everyone suffered in that way. Everyone suffered in the way you've suffered. Everyone suffered more than you, you know. And it's not in a way; it's in society. throughout history, suffering has happened on the minute scale, on every scale. It's happened, and everyone suffered just like you. And it's an insane warmth to feel connected to all of history. You're part of history, and it's nice to know all those people lived lives, you know. And I really I really do like it that I'm not isolated in my suffering. It's great. It almost makes you not suffer, you know. It's brilliant. Yeah. What else did I write down? Yeah, I mean, well, one big thing I had to accept was the fact that, you know, my dad, my father, I don't. It's he's not the person I wish he was at all. And, you know, I was really bitter and angry about that ever since I was like 16. I never really told anyone, but I really was. And I think 16 is like, because you don't really realize when you're younger, but then I got to 16, 17, around then, and then I really started to hate him. Like, because you start to think about it, you think this guy is a piece of shit, like, what the like, uh, yeah. Um, and it was really gaining on me. It was really on my back like a burden. And I felt shit about myself because I thought, no, I shouldn't be thinking this. This is, you're meant to like your father. You're meant to respect him. You're meant to obey him. You're meant to really like him. And I felt guilty that I didn't. And that was hard for me. And, you know, I even got physical with him one time. I put my hands on his neck. And I was really guilty about it. I felt really guilty about that. I didn't, I'm not proud of that at all. But then, you know, I'm a Catholic. It was Christmas recently, and it's a thing I do. I just go confession around Easter and Christmas. And I went and I spoke to the priest, you know, as you do in confession. And I started crying. It just, I was in such a bad spot. I just, everything came out. And, you know, he told me, because it's like, you can't see each other right there. But then if you go to the side, it's a glass and there's a chair and you sit down. And he asked me to sit down. And he really talked to me about things. Like he told me, "What do you want to say to me?" And I told him like not even everything what I feel, some of what I feel. I told him how I felt. Uh, and I was crying at this point, you know, like not fully like bawling out. I was really trying not to cry. And you know, I mean, if you've cried, if ever in your life, you'll realize what that is. It's yeah. He said something to me. He was like, "You think there's nothing inside of you that's worth any good?" And then he kept telling me, "Yes, there is, because you're a child of God." And I heard it, and it went past me. You know, I was just still trying to compose myself, and he tells me, "You know, I need you to know, I need to know that you understand that." And I look at him, and I say, "Yeah, I understand. I really understood that in that moment. Not only just what he said, as in I'm a child of God, and that means I do have something of worth, and I'm not just a piece of shit. I'm making mistakes, you know." Uh, but you know, it was this crazy thing where, you know, he asked me, you know, if you want to see me as well, and then like uh have an appointment with me, you can see me and we can just talk for an hour, or we can do that. You can arrange that. That's a thing. I was really thinking I'll probably do that. I'll probably need to do that because I really need this. And then, you know, I left confession. I can't be in there for too long. There's people outside waiting. And I forgot what he gave me as a penance. It was like, I think it was just say 1 hour father, which is pretty light, you know. Um, and then I felt amazing afterwards. It's like I was thinking, like he said, you don't have to come to me, but if you really need to, you can. And I thought I would have to, but after that confession, I really didn't need to, and I felt amazing. And it's insane what that feeling is. You know, like it's insane the feeling of just verbalizing your thoughts that you've had in your mind, rattling perpetually on a hamster's wheel. You know those thoughts, and you get them out to anyone, just a conscious listener that wants to listen. When you do that, it's an insane feeling. It's I can't explain it, but after that day, I really accepted things with my dad. I mean, not after that day. It was a bit afterwards. It was a slow realization where I was sitting at dinner one time and I realized, it's fine. It's really fine that things are like this. I mean, I'm not happy about it, but that's how it is. And I don't know how I did. I just accepted it. But once I did, I felt good. And I really don't know how I accepted it. It was a slow process, but I think everything I've just said is, I think maybe it culminated into this one thing. And this is a long process. It's been going on for a while, and I'm just saying everything I've gathered in my thoughts. And yeah, I guess that's how it happened. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Again, this is just for myself in a way, but I mean, I hope people are seeing this maybe one day. No one's watching it now, but maybe one day there will be, and maybe it'll help someone. I hope it does, because I know this is insane for me. This is one of my favorite videos, just because this is so personal. This is the most personal I've got on this channel. Um, yeah, only like one of my friends knows about this channel. Uh, and he's a lot like me, so I thought I'd let him know. The girl I'm speaking to, I was speaking about earlier, where we were having those conversations about how big pieces of shit we were. She knows I have a channel. I told her, but I just didn't want to tell her the name. I don't want to watch this just because I don't want to. Because then I won't be able to get personal. When I know someone I know is watching, I want to be able to get personal. So yeah. Goodbye.